as you've seen, most of the authors here get up and read from their book. My book has about, 40 sentences, so I decided rather than read from my book tonight, I thought I might flip through a few pictures and talk about how this funny inside joke with a few friends turned into a calendar and a book for a few years running. I've had a lot of business ideas over the years. Like the one I came up with last holiday for cashews, people like me who are half Catholic and half Jewish. It's a little ornament that you hang on your tree that looks like a menorah. I was going to call it the menornament. I even bought the URL. I've done nothing with it. Another URL I also bought and did nothing with is nude knitting. That's Knude with a silent K. I had this vision that women would knit topless on the internet, live streaming, and people could type in like yarn color changes and stitch changes, like cable stitch, baby, cable stitch. And then the garment itself would go to the highest bidder. I still own it, done nothing with it. Another idea I had that I used to tell people at parties to make them think I was funny and creative was about taking the idea of like sexy women in race cars or like chicks holding guns and do it for women with super hot male models and cute little baby animals. For years, I did nothing with it. Then something changed. I would say, just think we could have like a sexy surfer lying on the beach cuddling this cute baby seal. The point is, like everyone here tonight, I've come up with a million brilliant business ideas, maybe one every other week. But a brilliant idea is worth absolutely nothing unless you execute it. Execution is what matters. Without it, you have nothing but maybe a funny laugh at a party. I often get asked about hot guys and baby animals, why didn't I think of this? And my answer is, you did, you just didn't do anything about it. So tonight I'm going to talk about how this silly party joke got executed and how you all can execute your own business ideas in just 10 simple steps. Step 1, complete the following sentence. It makes me happy to spend time with blank and blank. In my case, that was super hot guys and cute little puppies. Step 2, get your friends and family on board. The support of others is what got me from idea to action. Mine came in the form of my best friend, Carolyn. We've been friends since we were 16. She told me she'd be my business partner. All of a sudden, it was more like we were starting a fun project together rather than a risky business venture. The worst case was no longer a complete failure. It was just a funny story, which we'd tell each other years later in our cardboard box after we invested all of our money. I was also able to take advantage of my dad, who's a talented photographer. I paid him for the first shoot in quality time with his eldest daughter. I hear compared to dollars, it fell slightly somewhere just under the Mexican peso. Step 3, lose your real job. Actually, this is horrible advice. I've told it's best to keep your day job when you're starting a new company in case things don't work out. But I'm not only speaking economically. In my case, it was more a matter of finding something meaningful to do with my life. It was 2009. Do you guys remember 2009? Did anyone here not get laid off in 2009 or 2008? I got laid off in February. It was almost the holidays. I had nothing to show for the year except for a few yoga classes and a lot of daytime drinking. So we needed something to do, something to show we weren't complete failures. I'm painting a grim picture, but the point is that it's often the bleakest moments that lead to the brightest ideas, or rather, the impetus to do something with that bright idea. Carolyn said, let's do this thing, I'll help you. Those were the 3 words that changed everything. I'll help you. It was a steady sprint from the first week of November to the first week of December when we started selling our 2010 calendars. Number 4, take advantage of the myriad web resources available. Of course, it's the age of social networking, and there's amazing software online for accounting and so on, but I'm actually just talking about Craigslist. Where else can you post seeking attractive, approachable men to pose with small animals for mainstream calendar? We included mainstream so we didn't seem weird. And this was before we had photos or a website up to make us seem legit. We didn't even offer any money. In fact, I'm surprised anyone at all responded. But they did respond, hundreds of guys. I would post some of the most amazing headshots here that some of my friends in the audience actually had the pleasure of seeing, but that seems kind of cruel. Let's just say they disregarded our 18 to 24 suggested age range on both ends, and a generous amount of baby oil was utilized on both ends. Number 5, make it about charity. It's great for PR. It's true. Don't tell anyone, but that's why we donate a portion of our proceeds to the SPCA and other animal rescues. It makes a much better news story than buy this calendar so Audrey can hang out with more hot guys. Also, we had to get our baby animals from somewhere. A few puppy rescues, a friend of a friend kittens, and an unlimited supply of baby rabbits from a charity called Bunny World Foundation, which is in fact a crazy lady in Silver Lake, 72 bunnies in their small loft apartment. I know, the pictures are amazing, right? Right? It's my dad taking all these photos. That's not my dad. The only animals I actually purchased for this project were 2 little chicks, Lulu and Mr. Peeps. I took that photo, not my dad. They're now adult hens and live in my dad's backyard in Berkeley. There's nothing like eating the fresh eggs that come out of your own model's vaginas. Number 6, get the proper permits. It was challenging enough playing director, trying to be confident and comfortable saying things like, take off your shirt, now sniff the kitten's head. Or, can you hold the puppy and flex your bicep at the same time? Without having to deal with the cops shutting us down, which they did 3 times. Apparently you need a permit to shoot on the beach in Santa Monica. We ended up shooting down alleyways, behind buildings. We even had some models volunteer their backyards. It was a logistical nightmare, which included Carolyn on the phone calling every model and puppy to direct them to each new location. Here's a picture of me on the job. You can tell I'm very stressed out. Number 7, don't be afraid to start small. You never know what's going to happen. I started that first year by selling calendars to people in bars. I'm not kidding. This is a sign that I found on Tumblr that somebody else at your party, Jen, took of the crappy sign I'd made to sell calendars back in 2009. And just for some perspective, 2 years later, this came out in it was December in 2011. Number 8, learn how to run a company. I didn't do this. If you've never run a company before, you'd be surprised by how many questions come up, mostly around government policies and random taxes. Not to sound dirty, but as owners of a general partnership, are we supposed to 1099 ourselves? Do we charge taxes on online sales? I didn't learn any of this stuff in college. I wish I had. Number 9, be careful what you say to the press. It will come back to haunt you. I found myself on the phone at 7 a.m. with a reporter in England. I'm really not a morning person, and I was doing my best to sound friendly. I think maybe I was too friendly. Carolyn, who has a PR background, wants me to sound professional and not like a giggly girl that just wants to hang out with cute boys. Maybe I briefly mentioned that in the early days I might have gotten asked out by a couple of the models I recruited. I'd now like to quote from a paper in Toronto. Oh, I'm missing a page. Hold on. Well, you can read it. Right under the picture it says, what started as a great way to meet guys has turned into a viable business for 2 California girls. The paper in New York. The article starts out, I thought it'd be a great way to meet guys, says Audrey Khuner, one half of the duo behind the website, Hot Guys and Baby Animals. And from a paper in Lima, Peru. I'm about to murder the Spanish right now. But it says, Crea que sería una forma genial de conocer chicos. Which I think means, I thought it would be a great way to meet guys. In the same vein, remember that the internet's a crazy, crazy place. and you never know where your products will end up. Here's just a few pages that come up if you happen to Google hot guys and baby animals, which I do daily. This is a site called Rainbow Depot Calendars for Men. You can kind of look, I don't know if you can read, but there's one, this one's called Boy Next Door. This one is just called Meat. And then up in the left-hand corner, if you can see, there's a guy with like a little kitten on his shoulder. I like to play one of these things is not like the others game. This is a man on a morning talk show that used a spoof of our calendar to promote his show. It says, nice guy and stuffed animals, or one guy and stuffed animals, which is a nice segue to number 10. Start thinking of spin-offs. Once you have your audience hooked, you have to entertain them in new ways or find a new audience. Here are a few of our favorite ideas so far, all of which have been nixed by our agent, but maybe we need a new agent. There's the obvious idea, just narrow down your animals. Or you can try narrowing down your guys to hit a specific niche. Older women, hot baby boomers and baby animals. This guy thought he was showing up for the actual shoot. And we're like, yeah, no. He's too old. Or you can add something else to spice it up. Or my favorite idea is you can just reverse it. I can see the shoot going really well. You don't mind if I take your infant and put him next to some polar bears, do you? So, if you take anything away from my presentation today, it's that it's not that hard to take your ideas and actually execute them. And if you take away 2 lessons, let the second one be that baby seals are really hard to get for a photo shoot. Thank you.